Hey beauties.
Welcome to the We Are Bee podcast.
This is your host, Shelly Mae. I am the co-founder of We Are Bee, the world's first beauty e-learning platform. On this show, we will be interviewing beauty entrepreneurs, educators, and empowered women trailblazing and making an impact. We hope to provide you with the tools, inspiration, and community along your own journey. We are empowered beauty entrepreneurs, professionals, and educators aspiring to make a global impact. All
right, welcome to the We Are Bee podcast. It's Shelly, your host, and today we have an amazing guest, someone that I consider a dear friend. She's a freaking go-getter, someone that I look up to, and she is making waves in the fitness industry. Why am I bringing on a fitness coach? Because all things beauty, fitness is beauty, and she is a fitness coach, an online entrepreneur, and totally kicking butt in this space and inspiring and empowering so many women. So welcome, Kryss Desandre.
Thank you, Angel.
So thank you so much for joining today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Doing good. Better now that I got to see your beautiful face.
Oh, I love you for that. I know that you've also been hustling because you just launched a really big project that I want to talk about. But let's just give the listeners a little backstory on, where this passion and this drive came from, because I know it's been a journey and it always is. But start from the beginning, because you don't share this with many people, but something that I admire truly about you is your story and the roots that you came from, because that's, the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely don't share it a lot, and I'm working on it. I even have a page created with my whole story on it that I haven't published on my website yet. So each time I talk about it, it gets me one step closer. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, for sure.
What most people don't know is, they look at me now and I'm fit and, I kind of have a social media following and they're like, oh, wow, she's successful. I bet she has it so easy. But in all actuality, and it's not just me, most people who are in my position, like, you gotta go through some shit, So, growing up, for me, that was where most of my shit took place.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with a mom who struggled severely with alcohol and drug addiction and moved around to so many different places. Our homes were barely ours, we're always staying with friends and family, and it was just a strange life as a kid because it just became my normal, and it wasn't until I got older when I realized, like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
But older for me was right about 8 years old, my mom had my little brother, and she still was just struggling so much with her drug addiction that I kind of had to grow up because I'm like, well, now it's not just me and her, I have to help take care of my little brother too, and it was rough.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I knew that I had to grow up young too in a different way, but that's just a lot of pressure, to put on yourself. And
well, it's so weird because I didn't realize it at the time. I just knew, like, man, my life is hard. Why am I not normal? Like, why am I not normal like other kids? Why do we not have these things? Or why is it this way? And you just don't really understand. A little bit later in my life, my dad had been locked up in prison for most of my life, and my brain at, how old was I? I think I was like 11 when I got out. Was like, you know what? It's not really the best life at my mom. What will it hurt to go try and live with my dad who's been locked up in prison for so many years? And it actually wasn't too bad. I feel like maybe the reform of that helped a little bit. He just learned not to be stupid anymore. So he got a job and everything was going good. And then there was just one night that was really pivotal for me where he had been drinking. And our whole family was around, and I just remember he got super drunk and basically just told me, you know what, you're never going to become anything but a slut and a whore, and you'll probably end up in prison just like I did. And I called my mom that night, and I'm like, man, just bouncing back and forth between these two places, and I'm like, come get me. Luckily, my mom did become clean at that time. She has been for a long time, which I'm super proud of. So, my newest little brothers haven't had to face what I did. But there was just something in me that sparked where it's like, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm not going to live this life that I was dealt just because it's what I was dealt. I'm going to do whatever I want with my life. And I think, there's two types of people in this world. When you grow up, you either learn to do the same thing as what you see, or you learn from the mistakes that you see. And I feel like watching my mom growing up, I just knew exactly what I didn't want. And then with my dad saying that, I'm like, I'm just going to prove you wrong. I know what I don't want, and I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to become something. And it's been a really big drive of mine. We have a much better relationship now. Mm-hmm. He definitely likes what I do with fitness because it's something he's into as well. So, but it was a good motivator for a very long time that really sparked me to just learn and grow and develop myself to be the best person that I can be. And I think it ties a lot into fitness, and we'll talk about like a little bit more about this as well. But with fitness, it's something that can strengthen you on the inside to the outside. So it's not just about looking good; it's that you are taking control of your body and your life and who you want to be. You want to be healthy. You want to live a long time, and it just shows that you respect yourself. You're passionate and you want to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. So,
So at what age did you start getting into fitness?
Well, in high school, I did sports. I think that's kind of where it sparks for people, like just being active and the fact, like all the endorphins you get from that. But I didn't get into the fitness I'm in now until I was, let's see, how old am I now? 19? I was 19 years old when I started actually going to a gym and learning that lifting weights makes you feel awesome.
Yeah.
And it just kind of been my home. The gym has been my second home ever since, and I love it.
Dude, I love that. Thanks for sharing your story. I know that, part of being in purpose and serving your purpose is that vulnerability aspect that not a lot of people, share. And so thank you for sharing that, because sometimes it's hard to show up in the world and say, this is really and truly to the depths of where I came from and what I've gone through. And what's even more inspiring than that is who you become from that space. And that's what I completely admire about you, because there's so many people, like you said, they become this same thing that they watched that they didn't want to become, or they learned from it. At going through your experiences, you could have every reason to be bitter. You could have every, excuse to just be a woe as me bitter person. But what you've done is you've chosen to make that actually force you to become better. And like, you're pushing yourself every day. Like, I see you out there and you're trying new things and you're growing. And it's so cool, because I think being a woman in fitness, sometimes it can be intimidating really stepping into that, because there is so much out on social media and comparison and whatever. And like, you stay in your lane and you execute. So you've been freaking kicking booty.
That actually makes me want to bring something up. That just recently, two things. Number one, you totally are like what you make of yourself. I have friends that I grew up with, close friends. They were normally families that we lived with when we didn't have our own place and everything. My mom was their friends. I was friends with the kids, obviously. And those kids grew up much, much different. Like, they ended up doing exactly what our parents did. So, and it's interesting that even in that close circle, we all turned out so different. Mm-hmm. But on that topic, it just kind of ties in so perfectly. I had a comment recently on Women's Day, actually, that I addressed the day after, when someone was talking about fitness and basically including everyone and everything like that. And a gentleman commented to me saying, it doesn't seem like you're talking about women who have kids and so they don't have enough money or time and they can't do this. And there was something about it. It didn't make me angry, obviously, because like, you don't know what you don't know. But I went to my story to be like, I'm gonna set this straight. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how much time you have. If you want something, you do it. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to have anything fancy. You do it for you behind closed doors. You can work out at home. You can eat healthy. So yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, that's what I so respect and admire that, because whatever excuses you want to make, you can make. And there's so much time in the day. There's people that are like, I have a full-time job. There's no way I could have a side hustle or follow my dreams or do things that I love. Like, turn off the Netflix and turn on your mind. Read books, better yourself, and you'll start to realize there's so much opportunity out there and so many things that you're not willing to see because you blocked your own self. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that come up around you that are opportunities that you want, but you can't see it because you're like, I can't have that. I can't be that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, exactly. And with that too, like just kind of staying on fitness, what most people don't know is a lot of my success in fitness, even if it looked like it from early on, like I was more successful than I was, maybe it just looked like that, but for a long time, even as my following grew, I was poor AF. Like,
yeah, like numbers don't really mean that they're making millions of dollars.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything's coming in. Like, we were living on bags of rice, eggs, and just bulk chicken. Like, we could not afford a lot of food. And for a long time, before we even started in the gym, I could only afford to work out at home because I couldn't afford a gym membership. So I just work out at home like 15 minutes with YouTube videos and like stuff I can find online and just playing around with chairs and benches and my couch, you know? And so it is all about just, if you want it. If you just want it and you tell yourself you want it, you're going to chase after it.
Mm-hmm. And giving yourself that permission. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many people that say, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, but they never really step into it because they're like, but I can't. But, you know, this person's already doing it, so there's not enough room for me. Like, how many fitness people are out there, right? You could easily have been like, I can't do this, but you did.
Well, it's true, but the thing is, like, there's people who start fitness because they're doing it for them. Like, they want to be fit, they want to be healthy for themselves first. And I think where a lot of things are kind of colliding for people when they have that mindset is they're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they want to have a following and they want whatever it is they think comes with that, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not as great.
The perception of like attention and like all the likes and the comments.
Yeah, and it's not about you taking care of you anymore, because anyone who's taking care of themselves, it's an inspiration, and you can inspire people without having a huge following. You know, like, if that's your goal, if your goal is to help yourself and help others, you don't need a huge following to do it. So saying, oh, I can't do it because someone else already is cutting yourself short, and then also those people that you would have helped if you would have just went for it.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. And also it comes full circle, realizing, like, usually the journey does start about wanting to better yourself, but what's really cool is you continue on that journey. Just like in the beauty industry, like, you learn a skill and, you know, you love what you do and you're like, this is so cool, I can be my own boss. But then eventually you step into that leadership role, which you are in right now, where it's not just about you anymore. Like, it's about inspiring people by being that leader and being vulnerable and sharing things and creating programs, which I want to go into. You have some really awesome stuff you're doing. But that's really where the bigger impact comes is, like, did you know at the beginning of your journey that you were going to step into, like, this leadership role? Like,
Heck no. When I started, it was for me, 100%. I didn't film myself. I didn't record myself. Like, it was just me at home doing my thing because I didn't like where I was. You know, I worked so hard, kind of, when I was talking about my story, a lot of that work that I did was more towards my career at the time, which was in finance. Obviously, that's changed. I still love that, but
why finance?
I love numbers. I enjoyed it, and it's important. You know, finances, like, your finances are just important as your health, because both things are going to get you through life. So I'm pretty passionate about both still, but fitness takes precedent.
No, but that's good, because you can probably take those, like, financial skills that you gained and put them into your business.
Well, I'm going to actually talk about something else with my business that has to do with that, just because of my experience.
Yeah, let's go into it.
Oh, man. I was just sharing something.
So you were actually going towards your career with finances.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, producer. You might have to edit that out.
Just keep flowing.
So when I first started, a lot of my energy went into my career. So I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating healthy because I was just focused on working, because I had all that passion, you know, from, you know, you're never going to become anything. I'm like, yes, I will, building my business. And through that, I realized I wasn't taking care of my body. And I got to this point where I'm like, wow, I don't have my high school body anymore. My pants are a little bit tight. I have a thigh butt. There's not even a difference. Like, it's just both the same thing, you know? And I'm like, I don't like this. I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel like when I look in the mirror, I just love my body and I like who I am. And that's what got me started. It wasn't, you know, social media at the time. I thought Instagram was like a photo editing app. I didn't even know that it was actually social media. So I didn't even start on that. It wasn't until I'd been working out, like, at home and being active for at least probably a year and a half before I realized, like, oh, people like pictures of this. And I started doing that.
Wow, that's amazing. So, for those of you that are listening that have not heard yet of Kryss Desandre, she has quite the following on Instagram. So let's go into Instagram a little bit. I don't want to, ask too many questions, but I definitely want to give the entrepreneurs like an idea of like how, because you're following, you have like almost 400,000 followers, and your engagement is off the charts, and like people love what you're doing, and they're engaging, and you're really good about like building your brand and engaging with your audience. What was the process to building that following? Like, what are some practical tips that you incorporated into building your Instagram and becoming like more visible?
Well, I think the first thing is, it's just understanding that getting to your first 1,000 and getting to your first 10,000 is going to feel like the hardest thing on this planet. But you can do it.
You can do it.
The biggest thing, I'm going to give some like real practical advice here,
Yes.
because it helped me so much, is hashtagging. It's still huge across so many platforms that is how you get your stuff out there. But the thing is people think like, I'm going to use this big hashtag like fitness, and there's such a little fish in this big sea, And the thing that helped a lot was I used tiny hashtags, because the goal is to get to the top, the top posts of each hashtag.
Okay.
And I would track everything like a dog. Like, I would just go into each hashtag, is this working for me? Is this not working for me? Because I was so determined to grow at that point. But I'd start with small ones that had only been used like 10,000 times, 20,000 times, versus these huge hashtags that are used millions of times. Mm-hmm. Because I knew that my small page could show up on the top post of those smaller hashtags. And then as I grew, I would just like test out bigger ones until now, once you grow, you're consistently using those bigger ones. And then for people where maybe they already have a following, the one thing that I'm learning now, just because, Instagram changes, you kind of have to go with the ebb and the flow.
Totally. It's always changing. I'm like, wait, well, that was supposed to work. Why isn't that working anymore?
Yeah, it's so interesting. So I can actually post now, I'm sure, with any other pages that are bigger, maybe just trying to expand it. Every time I do hashtags, if you do little to no hashtags, you have a better chance of ending up on Explore than you do if you do your full hashtags, which Instagram allows 30. But every time I do like the full 30, I always never hit Explore. And then if I just don't put any hashtags, I always hit the Explore page. I'm not sure what behind the scenes is going on when it works, but now it's out there.
That's funny, because I had a social media lady that worked in Southern California for a big SEO company as a social marketing, the social marketer lead, so to speak. And she came and she spoke to my girls that I had working for me in the studio almost 2 years ago. And she said in her training, don't use all 30 hashtags. She said use 10 to 15, but what you're saying is cool is like even use less, but be really specific. I think we like generalize like beauty, hashtag beauty. Like, come on guys, get with the niche. Like, yeah. So would you say like location matters? Do you do like location tags too?
I use like Utah Fit Fam, Utah Fitness, just also because, I want to be known in my area as well if I choose to do something. So if you can find what hashtags are working in your area, I think that's awesome, just for, obviously they're normally smaller hashtags and it builds more of that community aspect. So you're known throughout the other people who are doing that in your community.
Yeah, I love that. And I think something you brought up that we all need to, the reminder, because social's so big. Social is like way out there, but like something that I was told in one of my other businesses, a mentor said, become a citizen of your community. And that that struck so true to me, because I'm like, here we are trying to inspire everyone around the world, yet right where you live could have so much opportunity, for visibility, for practice, for community, and being a leader, for self-love and positivity and fitness. And so I love that you mentioned that. So look at what hashtags are in your local area and use that on your social media as well.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that I think a lot of people, especially starting out, might struggle with is filters. Because most people, when you start taking photos of yourself, you're like, I don't totally feel confident with that photo, I want to put a filter over it, But what I found is, unless you're like professionally editing photos to have the same theme and filter each time, you're doing a really good job high-end photography, if you're just doing like some selfies with a filter over it, it won't perform as good as something that has clear quality and colors. You know, I don't know. People want to see what's real unless you're doing it for the high-end thing stuff.
Wow, that's so powerful. That is so powerful because I see that so much even in the beauty industry, like super, like if someone uses a filter, for example, like on their eyelash extension client, like I'm not drawn to it as much as a high Photoshop, like clean edited, clear picture. So I like that. I like that you said that.
I think people, they don't want to see, like I said, unless you're a page, not your, unless a page is, the whole page is like that, you know, on purpose. And it's just better to see what you would really be saying if you were actually there in real life, you know?
It's more authentic too.
Yeah.
Like all these filters, like yeah, they make your skin look more clear or whatever, but does it really matter? Because you are who you are. And if you are a public figure, if you are a coach and influencer in that space, and you want to be a leader in that space, I think part of the empowerment and truly fulfilling your purpose is just saying, hey world, this is me, and showing up in that, you know?
Well,
and you do a great job with that.
It's being real, and not only that, if you really want to grow yourself and get big, at some point you're going to be meeting with people, and you want to make sure that you are the person that they see every day on the internet, you know, that you aren't some other person because you overdid something.
Ooh, yeah. So consistency in that. I love that so much. Thank you. So you're amazing. I'm so grateful to be vibing with you today. So let's go a little bit into the programs that you have to offer because with our background of having online courses, I know how much effort, energy, and willpower, like you've been putting like all-nighters. You've been doing the all-nighters to complete these courses and you put your heart and soul into this. So go ahead and share like these programs that you have and these online programs that you're offering.
Okay, so I have so many more planned, but we'll talk about the few right now.
Yes.
The first programs I came out with, I created Burn It Babe and Burn It Grow, which I just wanted to have fun with the names. Honestly, I hate the generic names. I'm like, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yeah.
Which are 6-week fat loss programs that are geared towards fat loss and like conditioning the body, so you can still build that lean muscle while burning off stubborn fat, and if both of them come with the nutrition, well, everything that I make comes with all the nutrition now as well, which I know is some of people's hardest, like the thing that you struggle with the most. And I had so much fun creating that because I put such fun food in there to show that you can eat these foods and still hit your goals. Like I have chocolate chip pancakes in there. You know?
They're like, wait, Kryss Desandre eats chocolate chip pancakes. Oh, look at that.
And I don't know, I put a lot into it to really try to not just tell people here it is, but give them the tools to teach them how to do it even after the program is over. Because, you know, you only have the program for so long, but if you can build and understand how it works, then you can keep going and it will just extend your progress throughout your whole life. Because ultimately that's the goal. You don't want to be fit for 6 weeks. You want to be fit for the rest of your life and kind of make that a goal. But after we did that, I've been working on something. I actually created my challenge first, and then once I did my like pre-launch of it, people were like, well wait, what if we don't want that, what if we want to burn instead? So I put my challenge on hold, and I'm like, all right, let me build a fat loss program. I've been promising it for months, let me build it and put it out for you guys. So I did that, and I finally afterwards got to launch my challenge, which is the Strong is Beautiful challenge, which is a passion project of mine. And I gotta say, and maybe I'll get to this in a sec, but it's hard to market that, especially because it's an all-women challenge. Because there's this, like, thing around, you know, oh, if I lift too heavy or if I lift too much, I'm going to look like a man. I'm like, no, girl, you won't. You will build the curves that you want. You can't have those curves unless you're thick or you build them, you know? And so it's kind of a challenge to put it out there, but I'm so happy I did, and I'm going to keep going with it just because people will finally understand this.
So what is the challenge? Exactly.
So what it is it is a strength and conditioning program. It's, again, 6 weeks. All of the programs I have right now are 6 weeks long. Comes with the nutrition, but it also comes with me. We're essentially, like, every single day, I'm like, girl, I got you 24/7. Any questions you have, let's do this. Let's make you the strongest version of yourself. And it's basically taking a snapshot of how strong are you right now and how strong can we get you in the next 6 weeks. It's not built around like bulking, because I know that some programs it's strength around bulking. This is more like strength and conditioning still,
Totally.
you know?
Yeah, I love that, because I think so much when people think of fitness, like when I think of the word fitness, to me it's like the perfect physique, the abs, the booty. But fitness is like, there's so much more to fitness. And I've had my own fitness journey. I competed in CrossFit. I've done like the macro counting. I've done the different diets, and like, I love fitness. It's a huge part of my life, and it always will be. But when I think of fitness, for some reason I think of that. So I love that you're bringing a new light to this, basically saying like, girls, you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to lift the heaviest, but what's the best that you can be? And how strong can we get you? And strong is beautiful.
Well, and it's not like that. The one thing that I'm trying to imbue, if you will, into this is that when you feel strong, if you go to the gym and you just smash something, you're like, oh my gosh, I just did this new weight. I feel so good about myself because I did something that I couldn't do before. It builds this thing where it's not just about how strong your body is, it's that it's building strength in your mind, and you're learning to love yourself, and you're learning to be like, wow, I can do so much more than I thought I could do. And I'm really trying to put that into this. That way people just are able to take that and keep going.
Yeah, there's so much. I say that I get like my mental toughness from CrossFit, but it's bled into every other area of my life. The toughness to endure like things that I've gone through in relationships. Like I've been divorced before, and so going through that and being like, no, like I got this. And then also going into the gym after CrossFit and pushing myself by myself because I'm not in a group setting anymore, or even with business and putting myself out there and being like, oh, I didn't do the best that I normally do, but I'm still gonna, like, I don't feel the best today and I'm still gonna do it. You know, mental toughness is everything. And I know that your mental toughness is like a freaking sharpened sword, girl. So where did you get that? Did you get the mental toughness from fitness, you would say?
Honestly, no, it was there. You know, I feel like after you go through some stuff in life, you learn to take whatever comes at you, and you're just like, if I can get through what I've gotten through, I know I can get through anything else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But what fitness does, I feel like it just makes me feel more empowered and more in control and more confident in just who I am and what I can do about any of my situations. So, I don't know, because sometimes you can feel down, even in business, even now, like, no one's perfect, you still go through your different ups and downs mentally, but if you go to the gym, it just clears your mind and it reaffirms to you that you got this. You can do whatever you need to do. You got this. Just chill. Do some bicep curls. Continue on with your day.
I love that. One of my favorite things used to be going to the gym, and when I would do like my stair stepping or like cardio session, I would have like the best music, and I would just be like having all of these, like, I would get a lot of my inspiration and ideas at the gym. Like before, when I was going up, like, even though I wasn't like trying to force it, it got me in that creative mode, I think, because it was like alleviating stress or pressure that I had, and I was, you know, getting those endorphins pumped through my body. Like, fitness is really amazing.
It is. I can feel it, you know, if I don't go to the gym for like 3 or 4 days because I'm working or busy or something, I can feel it. I'm like, man, I feel tired, I feel kind of cranky, and then you go to the gym and it fixes it for you. It's like, oh, that's all I needed. Okay. They need to make a word for it. You know how there's hangry when you're hungry? You make a word for when you just need to go to the gym.
Gymry. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So, who would you say has been like your number one supporter through the journey?
Oh, Matt, for sure. My husband, Matt, God bless him. He has been through so much with me. I'm just thankful that he stuck around through all of it, you know? We've been through some crap, so. But even in everything that we do now, you know, he's been doing a lot of the work on the back end, and I feel like it sucks for him when I'm out there on the social media, and people are just like, oh, she was doing it, when he does so much of the work. But he's been there for everything. He's helped me through the moments when I was at my worst, and I was like, I want to be better, and we've both grown together from it in life and business and in fitness, and he's my number one supporter for sure.
Can you share that story? I know there's a story behind what you just mentioned, like that moment, because sometimes I think people, like, there's not ever going to be that one moment, but I know that there was some key moments in your life where you're like, I just want to change. I want to be better. Like, what was that story?
So I had mentioned earlier that, I had this mindset, I don't want to beat my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But as a teen, and after hearing what my dad had to say, maybe it was the hormones of teenagehood, I'm not sure, but I got with the wrong crowd, and I started drinking. I'm pretty sure it was the night of, like, my 16th birthday. I stayed up all night on multiple different pills, and I was sitting on this rooftop watching the sun come up, and just something hit me where it's like, oh my God, I'm turning into exactly who I don't want to be. And it was that day that I talked to Matt, and I talked to my mom, because she was clean at that time, and I'm like, this isn't what I want for myself, but I know that I have a problem, and I know that I'm going to need your help to get out of it and to get through it. And I started just cutting off all of those negative people in my life, all the negative things. And that was kind of one of my pivotal moments of when I really decided, like, I'm growing myself. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be that person.
That's so amazing that you were able to ask for help, because I think so many people are afraid to do so because it makes them look weak or vulnerable. But like, that's where the true connection happens. Like, I'm sure you and Matt really grew in that area of your life, and because you were like, listen, I don't want to this life. I don't want to be this way anymore. I want something better for myself.
Yeah, well, if we're getting real too, I want to talk about this just because someone out there might be going through it. But I think what's really hard is if people only surround themselves with bad influences, then it's really, like, you can't go to those people and be like, I want to change, because they're like, oh, you're a loser, even though
you think you're better.
Yeah. I had people say that, like, oh, you don't want to talk to us, you're such a bitch, you think you're better than us. I'm like, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be better, but you have to have or find one person in your life that you can go to who's just that better influence, and just say, you know what, I can leave all this behind. I'm brave enough to leave all this behind, all these people who aren't serving a better purpose for me. Even though it will be hard, like, it will be tough to leave. People will say these things, they'll try to pull you back in, because ultimately when people are down, they want to bring you down with them. So if you're trying to be better, they're going to try and suck you back down. You just have to be brave enough to move out of that situation and find those people who are willing to help you rise above where you're at.
Yeah, environment is so crucial. Like, literally and physically and mentally in every aspect. Like, it is so important. Like, I think a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm strong enough, I won't give into it, but they still surround themselves with people that they don't want to become. Because it's not about you being better than anybody else. It's not about you, judging the other people. It's about asking yourself, who do I want to become? And surrounding yourself with people that are like that. Because if you stay with lower vibes, or like people that aren't doing things or doing the things that you want to do with your life, like, you're not going to grow. And it can be scary. Like, I've gone through a lot of, I guess you could say, purging phases where I'm having to level up my influence and level up the people that I let into my life. And you can still love those people from a distance.
Yeah,
you can still say, like, I appreciate you, I love you, we see each other on social media, but like, there's nothing wrong with removing yourself from influences that don't serve you.
Yeah, well, I think if you, once you have that moment where you're like, okay, I want to change, or I want to be different, whatever the situation might be, once you set, like, that guideline, it's very easy to tell he doesn't fit in it, and it's easy just to be honest with those people. I've had to do that before, where I'm like, listen, you party all the time, and that's not what I want to do. If you want to hang out with me, do other stuff, but that's not what I want to do, You just have to set those boundaries for yourself, and it's not being selfish, it is just taking care of you first, because in order for you to be happy and make others happy around you, you have to take care of you first.
Exactly. No, I truly believe that. It sounds inspiring. So, okay, so something that is very big in the beauty industry, and it is in the fitness space as well, is like ambassadors and like people that want you to promote their products. So I know that you're an ambassador for a couple companies. You can mention the names if you want. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. What would you say are like the pros, but then also the cons of being an ambassador, being a brand ambassador?
I think the pros are, what order do I want this in? is if it's a company that is well known or at least trying to get there, like they're growing and they're trying, that can be a good way for you to grow as well if maybe you aren't exactly where you want to be. But at the same time, I'm learning this now. If you don't know what you want from that partnership early on, it can be a disappointment. So,
like, what do you mean by that?
Like, I feel like especially people who are on social media, maybe you don't have a business background, or you don't really know what to ask for, or you don't think you're big enough to ask for more, you can easily be taken advantage of, or maybe you do things for free that you could charge for. And that's one thing that I did for a long time. You know, it wasn't until a couple months ago that I started doing more paid partnerships, because I was just like, I'm not big enough to charge anything. And I feel like I definitely got taken advantage of just for that. Obviously, places send you free product, but that's fine. But it takes a lot of time to create content for them. So you're just essentially giving your time out for free if you do that. You know, if they send it and you want to, for instance, wear something and you don't have to go out of your way to create something for them, fine, whatever, they can send it for free. But if people are asking you to make something and they want special requirements and they want it to be done this way, like, that's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time, and you better be charging for it even if you have a small following. You know, if not, if they won't pay for it, don't do it, because it's just not worth it, you know?
Totally, I love that.
But yeah, it took me a long time to learn that. Some of the pros, though, or some of the other pros are that once you find that good company, you can grow with them, and it kind of gives you clout if it's the right one. You know, I know I work with a clothing company, and I feel like I have a little bit of clout with that, just being like, hey, I'm with this company, and I get to be part of like their launches and everything like that. So obviously there's clothing. I also work with, right now, a headphone company, which people love. Holy crap. I didn't realize so much of my audience like technology, but man, they do. So that one's fun just because, I guess for me, I only like to do stuff that I use. Like, I use it, it's easy to post about because I'm using it all the time. It's easy to take a photo or video in it because I'm already wearing it or using it, you know? But
I love that. I love that you mentioned that, because I think there's so many people that are, oh, I'm a brand ambassador. This company is paying me in free product, but they don't believe in it. They don't care about it. They don't use it. But then you can tell, like, you can totally tell in how someone shows up when they're talking about something, if they believe in it or not.
oh, for sure. Now that we're on this, I'm going to get into this. So this actually recently happened with 2 different companies, and I'm going to openly bash this because I just think it's absolute crap. I don't know if you've seen the like ab electrodes so you can like stick to your abs, and like you turn it on and it makes abs for you, right? Well, this place reached out to me and they offered me a good chunk of money, and I'm like, absolutely not. That doesn't do anything. I'm not going to lessen my integrity. Like, I'm not going to do that. Absolutely not. No. Just because, but then it was interesting because I kid you not, 2 days later, I was scrolling through social media and I saw someone doing a promoted post about it, and I get it, you know, like maybe they're in a place where they needed that money, but at the same time, for me, if you want to build a genuine and successful brand and following, you need to be genuine and you need to not be, what's the word I'm looking for? Just don't do that.
Don't like compromise your brand, your integrity, or your values just to get the money.
Long term.
Totally.
You know?
I love that you have that long term vision, which brings up something that I wanted to address, and Josh and I have talked about this a lot with values, because a lot of beauty businesses, like the barrier of entry for beauty business, you can go get a space and start taking clients like, you know, tomorrow, a week, a month. It's so easy. And even with fitness, it's like you could start doing whatever really quickly. You can get your certification and start training, whatever. And like something, people get into it without saying, okay, what is my vision? Like, it's like they're just like testing it out. If you're truly committed to your business, you're truly committed to building a brand, you start from the beginning. You say, what is my goal with this? What are my values? And every decision that you make, whether it's product, clients, policies, partners, collaborations, you base off of those values. Because if not, you're going to get confused. You're going to fall for, you know, the ab, whatever that machine was, you know, like, and like, not to judge people, but really put into perspective, that helps you just cut out, the decisions that you might be on the fence about if you have the values.
It's easy to say no, even if they offer you a lot of money, because it just doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm. What are some values and that you have in your life and in your business that you stick to?
For me, I like to be 100% real with people. I don't like to sugarcoat things. I don't like to make things seem easier than they are. Even with fitness, I tell people it's going to take some time. It's not easy when you start. Even my challenge girls right now, since we just started the challenge, are like, macros are hard. I'm like, I know it's going to take a while. Nothing's going to be easy. I like to be totally real. I like to let people know when I'm having bad days. I like to tell people what I struggle with. That way it becomes the normal. People don't think that the normal is being perfect. They know that normal is having struggles for everyone. And I think that that's one thing that I just constantly like to be and put out there. And I like that I know it works too, because I've met people and like, you are exactly in person who you are online. That's exactly what I want to hear. I'm like, yes,
I love that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I like, I don't know if this is necessarily, it's more just fitness values, because I do get asked, as a girl, I do have a lot of muscle, so I've been asked, do you take steroids? And one thing for me, even when I was prepping for a figure competition, my coach was like, you should just do it, it'll help you win. I'm just like, absolutely not. It's not what I believe in. I'm doing this to be healthy long term. I'm not doing it to look good right now. I want this to last forever, so I would never put that in my body. And I have people ask, like, do you do this or should I? And I'm like, you know what? To each their own for people who do. They might have different goals. Maybe it's something different. But I don't recommend it. You can get the same result if you just have patience, determination. Like, it could take 10 years, but if you just keep doing it, you can get to where you want to go. So that's like a fitness value.
No, that's a value, I think, with anybody, because it comes back down to not trying to cut corners. And at the end of the day, if you're trying to build a business that's going to be here for over 2 years, or even if you pass the 5-year mark, like, you're in a higher you're in like a very small percentage of companies that are even make it past that point. So if you want to be there, you have to stand in those values and not try to, be a flash in the, no one tries to be a flash in the pan, but a lot of people are like, this uber success, and you're like, whoa, where did you come from? And then they're gone just as fast. I feel like that's the same analogy as like using steroids, and then what?
You're either here for the journey or you just want quick results of some kind, And I feel like what people don't realize is the journey is a lot of fun. So just go on it. Go on the journey of whatever it is, building your business, building your body. Just go on the journey, enjoy it, learn from it, grow from it, and life will be better than if you try to cut any corners.
Yeah, I love that. What are who are some of your favorite inspirations in personal development that you had that have helped you along your entrepreneurial journey? Because you've really been focusing on building your business this last year, which has been really cool.
Well, I think it started the financial business that I work for. They had a lot of audios just from within the company that were all about personal development, and they did that annual conference a lot of companies do, where you just leave it and you're like, oh, I can do everything with my life. And that's kind of what got me hooked on reading the different books and starting to grow with it, because once you get a taste of that personal development, you really don't ever get tired of it. Just I keep going with this all day.
Yeah.
But there's a book, and I know some people hate him because he's so nah. But I've listened to this book probably 4 times, and that is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I love that book because I could just be feeling down a little bit, and all I have to do is listen to the first chapter. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Really just hear his voice, and I'm like, ready to go.
Yeah, I remember reading that book when it first came out, and that's actually when I met Joshua, when I was reading that book.
Really?
So it's so funny because I was talking about I'm going to do this. He pumps me up, Grant Cardone's voice is either get on the bandwagon or get out of the way. That's how I feel when I listen to him. And it's so inspiring because, you want to be in the law of attraction and be abundant and flowy and feminine, but there is the other part of building something that requires you to put a massive action into yourself, into growing your business, into putting yourself out there, and being willing to get up, dust your knees off, and keep going? Because I'm sure you've gone through many ups and downs of realizing what works for you with your business and what hasn't, right?
For sure. There's some times where I take what I know now, I'm like, if I only would have known this. But then I realized that you have to go at whatever pace you go through, because if I had all the knowledge that I do now 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do with it what I can do now. But the one thing with Grant Cardone too is I am guilty of selling myself short of what I'm capable of. You know, and I constantly surprise myself after I get that burst of inspiration, but sometimes I need it because I'm thinking too small. And when I listen to him, I'm just like, wow, I can do so much more than I think I can. And it kind of ties into my strength stuff too. And I love that.
Where do you think that comes from? Like that doubting yourself, like energy.
I think it's because I've had past failures, especially like in business. I'm not the best businesswoman, but I'm trying my ass off to be, you know.
Ditto, girl. I said
nobody knows what they're doing because we've never been there before. So we're failing and trying to learn as we go.
For sure. And I feel like each time you fail, it takes you just that little extra to be like, I can do this.
Like a comeback.
Yeah.
You bounce back like faster and faster.
And better. And it's interesting because if I'm being real, I haven't fallen in a while. But at the same time, it's always in the back of my mind of like, I have to hustle because at any moment I could. And if things, especially when you're working hard and you're drained and you're staying up all night and you're trying to get things done, your energy gets low, your vibe gets low, and you just need that little push that says, you got this. You can do this. Don't sell yourself short now. You're already halfway there. You know, it always feels like halfway. It's like whatever.
Right.
You're always going. You're always going. But
yeah, I love that. I think for me, that like, because I have that similar little voice in my head, like imposter syndrome. Like, you're not enough. What are you to be doing a podcast? What are you to be building a business? What are you to be inspiring women when you still have insecurities and you're still needing to, you know, affirm yourself of who you are? Like, but then you remember, like, it is the journey. But I do still have those moments, and I think for me, it goes so much deeper than like the failures. Like, as I grew up in an environment where I felt like I had to earn love. Like, there was 10 kids in my family. My parents were, you know, could you imagine like raising 10 kids? There's not enough support to go around to really build you up. And so I was like solo dolo since I was like 10, 12 years old. I started babysitting. I did a freaking lemonade stand. Like, I was like trying to get money when I was really young. And then having also the other side of doubt and like different things from my childhood that I went through that are these little voices that come up that are like, you can't do that. You can't do it. But every time you take that step forward, it's like, you got this. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the voices get like lower and lower and lower and smaller. But they're still there sometimes. And I think it's good to acknowledge that.
I think what people need to know too, because I feel like, especially with us, people put things out onto the internet. The internet is a cold and harsh place. You have to have a strong backbone for it. And some people will be like, man, you still have these insecurities. Why are you talking about it? But what people don't realize is that by talking about it, you're reaffirming it to yourself. And you're retelling yourself all these things. So even if I'm having a down day, if I go onto my social media and I say something positive, which I do, like, I've been really trying to push value in my captions because I've been having some down days because I'm working so much. I'm just like, I need to have some sort of light. And when I'm able to shine a light onto others, it just shines it onto myself and makes myself feel good too. And that's what people need to realize is it doesn't matter where you are, you can still inspire others. And by doing that, you will inspire yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's a nugget right there. Sometimes I even go back and watch my own videos and I'm like, oh, I needed to hear that today from my old self.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I went back and read the caption like 3 times this last week that I wrote just because I'm like, it's casual and I like it. I mean, it makes me feel good. So.
Yeah. Because being an entrepreneur is, it really does set you on the hook and put the spotlight on you. And sometimes that can be hard, knowing that you're in a leadership position, knowing that you're out there and you're visible to this world. And then when you're not feeling like it, still having that overhang of like, you got to show up. What are some things that you do to show up in that energy, even when you don't feel like it?
Well, I think one thing is even if I am having a down day, like I just talked about, I can let people know that I'm having it and then share my message of how I'm getting through it. So you don't always have to, I guess I don't believe in the fake it till you make it. You know, you can be real and then just be like, here's a problem, here's a solution, here's how I'm feeling, here's how I'm going to make it better. And then you don't have to feel like you're lying. I was
like you're holding back the
yeah.
fact that you actually are having like a really hard day.
Yeah, because like for me, I would rather not talk about it than lie. I'm not good at lying or fibbing the truth or being like, I'm totally fine if I'm not totally fine, you know, but if I'm able to be like, today's been crappy, but we're getting through it. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to have a cup of coffee, I'm going to feel good, you know?
Yeah.
It's so much easier than trying to talk yourself into getting on and faking it.
That's so funny because I literally like used to go live every single day for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then this last year, I was going through my own transformation and like facing a lot of aspects of myself that I needed to grow in. And it almost like made me go through this weird phase of like questioning myself. And so I didn't even show up going live on Facebook because I was like, oh, I know what I want to put out there, but like, I want it to be received good, but like I don't feel like I have the energy to do so. So I love that you said that because it's like you can still be vulnerable with your audience. Be like, yo, today's not the best day, but this is what's going to happen and I'm going to go do it. And yeah, we got this.
Yeah, that's like my motto. We got this, you got this, I got this, we all got this.
Yeah, that is the trademark of Kryss Desandre.
Yep, sure is.
I love that. So where do you think people can start if they're looking to step into fitness? And obviously you have great programs. Check her out at Kryss Desandre Instagram and then KryssDesandre.com.
Yeah.
And then Kryss Desandre on YouTube.
Yep, Kryss Desandre across the board everywhere.
Love that. So what are some simple steps that people can start? Like someone that's never been to the gym or someone that's never counted their macros, like what's a good starting point? Because I know it can be super overwhelming for people to get into it, especially if they're comparing themselves to like a fitness freaking bod like you. Not that you want to compare yourself, but people are comparing themselves and they want to be better, but you're so far away from where they are that they don't feel like they can do it.
Well, I think the first thing is do your research and see, you know, what is your goal with your body. Some people, they don't want a muscular body, they want to be thicker, they want to be leaner, or they want to have even more muscle, you know. Do your research and really figure out, look at your body in the mirror, be realistic with yourself. What kind of body do I have? Where do I want to take this? Because I feel like with that too, it kind of depends on what kind of fitness you like. You know, some people, you can get fit doing yoga, doing Pilates, doing at-home workouts, doing like biking and running, doing CrossFit, doing bodybuilding, you know, and each person, like they have something that makes them love that. But let's say someone who enjoys yoga tries to go bodybuilding and they're just like, oh my gosh, I hate this, but they love yoga. Don't try and force yourself to do something you don't want to do. Just go all out in the thing that you love and that you're drawn to do. You know, and then vice versa. For me, yoga's so hard. I want to, like, I look at those girls, I want to be good at it, but I'm not the bodybuilding I got, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, find what you enjoy and then you'll keep doing it. And if you keep doing something, that's what's going to get you your results. With food, though, I think a great place to start, I want to say, you know, track your food because it really gives people a snapshot, but I just know that a lot of people won't because it's hard. So do research on clean, whole, nutritious foods. Like, fill your body full of good things. We all know what the bad things are. Just try to limit that, you know, try to cut up. I can't even tell you the last time I drank soda, and I don't even enjoy it anymore at this point. Just because, like, once you cut it out and you realize how good you feel with other food, just like, I don't need that food. So, you know, try cutting out soda and sweets and burgers, fries, but not all the time. That, you know, on the weekend or something.
I love that.
Note to myself.
I think what you just said is so important because a lot of people are like, I don't need to eat clean because I don't care. I don't want that. I love this sugar. I love this donut. I love this whatever. And, you know, not passing shame or guilt or judgment. But what really has helped me is realizing, wow, I didn't know how much better I could feel until I took the chance to say, I'm just going to see how I feel. I'm just going to cut this out. I remember the first time I did paleo And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And literally, I felt amazing. And then there's times where I've done other things, like try it all, see what works for you, but also don't become so attached. And that's where like the dieting, I don't like to say diet, I like to say lifestyle. And I know you can agree. It's like, don't just do something for the quick fix, but also push yourself to do new things, but don't be attached to it. Like it's the be all end all. Say like, I'm going to see how I feel. I'm just going to commit to 3 weeks, 6 weeks. I'm going to cut out soda. I'm going to cut out, the bad things, so to speak, and fuel my body with whole, organic, nutritious food and just see how you feel. Because that was the turning point for me, is realizing, wow, I didn't know that I could feel this good, nor did I even care to try to feel this good, because I didn't know that this was possible.
Yeah, well, I think what people don't realize is that they feel good, they're feeling good enough, but eating clean can make you feel better. You just don't know it because you haven't tried it,
Mm-hmm.
But I love that you said don't latch onto it, because for me, when I started, I did the keto, essentially. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the name. But I saw online similar, like, try not to eat carbs, eat this, it's going to help you get results. And so I did, and I got insane results from it, and I loved it for a really long time. But you also have to adapt to whatever you're doing. So that was when I was working out at home. You only push your body so hard at home. You're like, I was focused on burning fat. But when it came to building muscle, I needed so much more food, and that's when I started changing my diet, eating more carbs again, and everything like that. But if I would have just stuck in that one track line, I would have never been able to get the muscle growth that I have now.
I love that. Yeah. And just bringing awareness, awareness and being in tune with your body is so important. Let's talk about that in an energy sense. So you and I love spirituality. I know you don't talk about it a lot, but what's your viewpoint on like law of attraction and spiritualism and how that ties into your business? Because I know you said like if you're having a bad day, you'll meditate or that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me because I feel like people separate spirituality from everything else, when in all actuality, spirituality and law of attraction, like thinking about what you want, is so practical. To like, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I just find it to be so practical. I can't say the word again now. Practical. that any person, even if they don't believe in anything spiritually, if you're thinking about it enough and you are doing everything that you can to make it happen, it's going to happen, and that is spirituality. And I just find it interesting that being spiritual.
Yeah.
But I do think that, plus, I know that we were just recently talking about this too. I'm in a place where, having hit rock bottom before, it's definitely a place that you don't want to be in. But at the same time, if you live in fear of hitting that and you let that hinder or limit what you're trying to do, and if you try to just not live abundantly, you don't bring in abundance. If you're trying to always be like, oh, I need to budget this and I can't do that for this reason, it just attracts that negativity and it doesn't attract abundance. Whereas even if you're kind of winging it and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to have money next month, but I'm going to go for this and I'm going to live my life because I believe that I'm going to. I tell you what, just that one mental switch, I'm still going. I'm like, I have no idea how, but it's because I believe that I can, And I think that that's one thing that people need to realize. Is if you just turn off
I think the word is like,
it's not about being reckless. It's not about saying like, oh, I'm going to go on a $3,000 vacation and I don't have a job or something. That's not what I'm saying. So take this as not that, but it's about just saying, you know what, I know what I can do and I know what I'm doing and that I can make things happen. So with me knowing that and having faith in myself, I'm going to have faith and live abundantly to make this work. And that's just like, it's worked so good. It still shocks me. Sometimes I'm like, wow. Like how, like I just feel blessed a lot because I'm like, all this hard work and I don't know if we're going to make it, but I'm living like we are, then all of a sudden we do. And then it's on to the next thing. I feel like it's a beautiful, scary thing.
It's both. It's the paradox. It's like, oh my gosh, all the pressure's on me, but oh my gosh, all the pressure's on me. I can do this. Like I'm going to make it work and whatever that means. And I think something you mentioned too is like being in the abundant state is like being in gratitude and appreciating. Like so many people are walking around super miserable, they hate what they do, or they're so afraid that their business is going to go under, that they're having to take anxiety pills, that like, if you just stepped back and realized where you're at and the beauty in that, and finding the gratitude, like what can you be grateful for today? And focusing on that, it changes everything.
Yeah, it's so much. I feel like if I didn't have the mindset that I do, that some of the situations I put myself in now, I'd have that attitude where I'm like, I'm so stressed. But I look at it and I look at my life now, and of course I always want to grow and I always want it to be better. But when I look at it, I'm like, wow, I wish this for myself a few years ago, and I wasn't sure if I'd make it, but here I am, you know? And it just goes to show that even if things are hard now, it could be worse and you've grown from worse, or even if you had something good and then you hit rock bottom, you've had it, you can get there again, you know. And I feel like just choosing to recognize that is really what will affect people's perception on any situation that they're going through.
I love that. Like, I saw this thing that came on IG yesterday that said, do you remember when you wanted what you have now?
I saw. Did you post that? I think
I didn't post it, but I should have. I saw it.
I saw that as well. I'm like, ooh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, you started your business. You created these online programs. Like, how cool is that? You've stepped into what you wanted to. I know when I first met you, you were like, I'm sick of posting what people want me to post. And you've just been you. And, like, it's opened up so much. It's so cool. And I know, like, even for me, the same thing is like, wow, why am I tripping? Like, I always am looking at how far I need to go and what I need to get done. And there's so much to do. But, like, take a minute to step back and be like, whoa, I am where I wanted to be, you know, years ago.
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing from there.
Well, I'm going through that right now, too. Where I'm like, man, I work from home. I'm my own boss. I get to be around my cats all day, and that's something that I dream for myself. I'm like, am I ever going to get there? I just kept trying and trying and trying. I'm like, holy crap, I'm there now. And now Matt's working at home with me, and just like, it was a dream before, and now it's reality. And you're just like, wow.
Bringing it into fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about being an entrepreneur is really, I don't think people can wrap their brain around, some people cannot wrap their brain around thinking of something and then bringing it into reality. Making something out of nothing. You know, it's not like it just poofed came out of nowhere. Like, you've had to build skills. You've had Matt. You guys have had to learn how to build websites. Like, I remember the first time I created my online course with Joshua's help. And I'm a beautician. I didn't go to business school. I didn't go to techie school. I'm not a tech wizard. And I created an online course. What the frick? It's about being resourceful. It's about, you know, recognizing that there's so many tools out there for you. And not just to build something online, to build a business, but to, like, resources to keep you on your journey of positivity, to tools and resources to help you learn what self-love means, and then you put them into practice. You know, it's not just like, poof, here it is.
Anything going to fruition, it's all about, like, knowing that it can take, you don't know how long it will take. You know, I feel like even from my old career and my ups and downs and having to, like, I had to learn those things at that pace, and I learned it to make it happen, but it's always, this is perfect. I was watching our wedding video just recently. I had a few glasses of wine, and I just decided, why not? I was bawling my eyes out, but I was watching this interview part where Matt and I were talking, and I totally forgot about this too, and it's crazy, but we were talking about how successful we wanted to be, or like, we're going to build a business, or we're going to make money, and I'm like, we had this dream like 5 years ago, and it happened, and it was awesome.
That's beautiful.
Because I just didn't remember, and then hearing it come from yourself, and you're just like, wow. I never gave up from that point until now, and I'm so glad that I didn't. So,
wow, and what a power couple you guys are, like, being able to go off of each other and the yin and the yang.
That's a journey too.
Yeah, it is. No, I get it.
Learning to work with someone, but it's also fun because, like, on a relationship level, you learn so much of what works and what doesn't, and that just makes you better at talking to other people too, I think. So it's been fun on this journey together.
Oh, you're the best. So what would you say, I know you kind of mentioned before, but what is your message to the world?
You got this, you guys. Whatever it is, your business, it's hard. whatever, you got this. Your fitness, keep going. You got it. Like, that's it. Just don't give up because you can do whatever you set your mind to.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. Don't forget to go check her out on Instagram. She's amazing. KryssDesandre.com. Facebook, Kryss Desandre.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, internet, all Kryss Desandre.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks
I
for
love
having me,
you.
Shelly.
You're the best.